Hi guys, this is Ranjit, and in this video let's do a practical 10-point comparison with the iQOO Z3 versus the Nord CE. And quite a few of you have asked me which is better. So I thought let's do a very practical 10-point comparison that makes sense. So let's go over this. This is the iQOO Z3 and this is the Nord CE that I have. So let's have a look at this. And both of them that I have are having 8 gigabytes of RAM. So let's start this, and first let's start with the processor and the performance of the processor. And here we know that the iQOO Z3 is having the new processor, that's the Snapdragon 768, whereas the Nord, they decided to go with the slightly older 750G. So what I did is, and I noticed that the iQOO is slightly more fluid in daily operations, and so I decided to run a few benchmarks. So let me just show you the AnTuTu scores that I ran on this one. And as you can see, we got a score of 3,65,000 on the Oneplus, whereas it's significantly higher, guys, almost 90,000 more on the iQOO. And I think so this shows in the real world performance also. When the iQOO, I was stressing also, it was a little bit more fluid in operation. Another small thing that I noticed is, let me just go to the default scores. If you noticed, I noticed that the iQOO was heating up a little bit less compared to the OnePlus. For example, after the benchmark, just notice the OnePlus, the temperature increased by 5.2 degrees Celsius, whereas it increased only 4.4 degrees Celsius with the iQOO. So this is what I noticed. After stressing, the iQOO didn't feel that hot, whereas it was not getting too hot, but definitely was getting warmer. So that's what I noticed. I also ran one more benchmark, that is Geekbench. iQOO, we got a score of 724 for the single core, and on the OnePlus it's 634, and multi-core also significantly higher with the iQOO. So definitely the processor, that is the 768, is making a difference with the iQOO. The raw performance is just plain better on the iQOO compared to the Nord CE. Let me do one thing now. Let's also talk about the screen quality and the screen technology. Again, here it's very different. The iQOO went with the IPS LCD screen, whereas the OnePlus went with this AMOLED screen. So definitely in this area, I would say the OnePlus goes ahead. And because it's having that AMOLED screen, you also get this always on and the in-display fingerprint scan. It's not the fastest in-display fingerprint scanner, but yeah, you get it. Whereas on the iQOO, it's a normal IPS LCD screen. Don't get me wrong, it's a good quality IPS LCD screen. And in terms of refresh rate, this is slightly better. This is having 120 Hertz refresh rate, whereas this one has a 90 Hertz refresh rate. But in terms of screen, I would say, I know many of you prefer AMOLED screen, so definitely here the OnePlus goes ahead, but no way the screen quality is bad on the iQOO. I watched quite a bit of videos also. It was fine, and it's a fluid experience, good quality screen that they have put. And because it's having a IPS LCD screen, the fingerprint scanner is here on it, and it's very fast. Again, as you can see, this comes down to personal preference, I would say. The next thing is regarding gaming and heating. As I've told you, I played Call of Duty on both of them for roughly about 20 minutes, and both of them played fine. With some of the games like the PUBG and all those things, you can go with slightly higher refresh rates on the iQOO, whereas it's slightly restricted on this one. That's not a problem. Gaming experience was fine on both. But one thing I noticed is that after 20-25 minutes of gaming, this OnePlus, definitely the back felt a little bit more warmer to touch compared to the iQOO. And I think so that is simply due to the fact that the iQOO has 5 layers of cooling. So it stays a little bit more cool in my opinion. And again, as the processor and the GPU performance is better, so I feel if you do game a lot, then the iQOO might be a better bet for you. Now, if we talk about the battery, here I would say I'm neutral about the battery life that I'm getting on both the phones. I'm getting pretty good battery life on both the phones. In terms of capacity, the iQOO is slightly less at 4400 mAh. It's 4500 mAh on the OnePlus, but the battery that I'm getting on both is almost very similar. So no clear winner here, I would say. In terms of charging, both actually come with pretty good fast chargers, but the iQOO is just simply faster in charging because you get that 55-watt fast charger in the box. With the OnePlus, you are getting a 30-watt fast charger, but both are fast. But if I have to pick one in charging speed, yes, the iQOO does go ahead. Next, if we look at is the user interface that we get on this one, and here I would definitely say that the OnePlus gets an edge because it has that Oxygen OS, which we all love. It's clean. Again, you notice that stutters. That is something that I'm noticing quite a bit on this OnePlus. I'm getting quite a bit of stutters on this one. I don't know why. Some of our other users also have mentioned, but apart from that, it's that clean, what do you say, experience that you're getting. The one, what do you say, Oxygen OS UI. So that way, I don't have a problem, and no extra bloatware or anything was installed. It's clean experience that we are getting on this one. So I would say in terms of user interface, definitely the OnePlus goes ahead. But I have to say that the iQOO is no slouch in this area. As you can see, this is the new Fun Touch, and this is very close to stock Android now. The Fun Touch UI has improved quite a bit, and it's actually a little bit more fluid in operations because of that 120 Hertz refresh rate that we are getting on this one. What I did not like with the iQOO is that by default, if you have opened the Chrome browser, what they had done is, if I go to the settings, I have disabled it. If you go to the settings and if you go to the home page, by default, they had set this homepage, I've closed it, to this Vivo thing, and it comes like this out of the box. And if you don't disable this, then you get the unnecessary stuff when you open the, what do you say, Google browser. But you can actually disable it easily. And another thing that I did not like is I have disabled that also. In this lock screen, you were getting random wallpapers. That was also enabled, but you can easily disable it, those things on this one. In fact, I had disabled it. You just search for lock screen, and lock screen poster wallpaper. No. If you get this, these things were enabled. So just disable this, and after that, and that browser thing that I did in the Chrome browser, it's a clean experience that I'm getting, and it's actually fluid. I feel iQOO should have actually shouldn't have enabled these two settings by default, or if they are doing that, they should have given an option while setting it up to disable it. So if you disable it, it's clean as of now, and it's a good experience. But definitely, in terms of UI, I would say Oxygen OS goes slightly ahead. Okay, next move to the update situation. Both are almost the same, so I won't say one is better than the other. iQOO is also promising 2 Android updates and 3 years of security updates, and OnePlus is also saying the same thing, so it's neutral in that area. Now let's move to the next thing, and that is the camera on this one. And both of them have a triple camera setup, but let's talk about the main camera, that is the 64 megapixel camera. Both actually have a 64 megapixel camera, but the OnePlus has an OmniVision sensor, whereas it's the Samsung GW3 sensor on the iQOO Z3. And let me do one thing. I've taken a lot of samples side by side, so here are the sample shots so that you can judge it. And what I'll do is I'll also add the zip file of these image samples so that you can check it for yourself. The iQOO's pictures are on the left and the Nord is on the right. And again, as you can see, the skin tones are produced better on the iQOO compared to the Nord. And this was the portrait bokeh mode. I prefer the picture of the iQOO. Do let me know which one do you feel is better. In this picture, I feel the iQOO boosts up the color a little bit. And you guys let me know which one do you like, this one. And this was also in difficult conditions. And here, just notice the face, how better the iQOO lit up the face compared to the Nord, which looks very dull. Now moving to artificial lighting conditions, we notice the same trend. The colors are better on the iQOO compared to the Nord, as you can see. Now moving to the front facing camera, we see the same thing. Just notice the colors are a lot better on the iQOO compared to the Nord. The Nord just loses that skin tone colors. Now this was in the portrait bokeh mode. I feel the iQOO is simply doing a better job in background separation. Just notice the area around my hair. On the Nord, it blurred the hair. These were taken in dull lighting conditions. Again, you be a judge. Which one do you think is better? So camera, definitely the iQOO goes ahead, not only the rear facing as well as the front facing camera. OnePlus really needs to up their game in terms of camera. Not only this one, even the OnePlus 9R camera was simply not that good. So camera definitely yes, if that's important, the iQOO goes ahead. Now if we talk about another thing, both of these smartphones were sold online via Amazon India, and I was very surprised. Just notice these screenshots. These are user ratings, and the user rating for OnePlus is just 3.8 stars. This is the lowest that I've seen for a OnePlus device in a long time. Whereas with iQOO Z3, if you notice, it's 4.3. So definitely most of the end users who are actually buying the device, I feel they are liking the iQOO's performance. And lastly, when it comes down to pricing, also here is a difference. The iQOO starts at 20,000, the base 6GB variant that comes with 128GB of storage. Technically, the OnePlus also starts at 6GB of RAM with 128GB of storage. That's also for 23,000. But just today, when I was looking at Amazon, notice this banner. It says that it starts at 25,000. So I don't know what's going on. I don't think so. The base variant is available in quantities. But yeah, if you go to the OnePlus official website, still it's showing the listing for the base 6GB RAM variant for 23,000, but it's only available in one color. I don't know how long the stocks will be there. But yeah, that's regarding the pricing. So in terms of pricing also, you have a difference. So again, as you can see, this was the practical comparison. I won't talk about 5G a lot because we don't have 5G as of now. But yes, in terms of 5G also, the iQOO goes slightly ahead. The iQOO has 2 bands of 5G, whereas the OnePlus just has 1 band of 5G. So guys, this was the practical comparison. And here, as you can see, this is the chart for the comparison. And where I showed the green in that area, that device wins. Yellow means it's sort of neutral. But again, guys, it's up to you to decide which one do you think is a better smartphone for you. Anyways, guys, that's it for now for this video. If you guys are still not subscribed to the YouTube channel, hit that subscribe button. This is Ranjit, and I hope to see you in my next video. Take care, guys.